And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup right here next to Fisherman's Landing in San Diego, and we have the man, Captain Mark Wisch, from that spot on Bolsa Chicken and Ettinger Pacific Edge. We're going to be talking bait tanks. We're going to be talking sea bass, yellowtail, bluefin tuna, and more. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090. Your San Diego County Ford dealer knows that vehicles are not one size fits all, and they have a variety to choose from to suit your individual wants and needs. Looking for a truck to handle both work and play? The legendary F-150 has you covered with its military-grade aluminum alloy body and high-strength steel frame and smart technology, like the available Pro Trailer Backup Assist to help you back up your boat with the turn of a dial. Or do you need a vehicle that's ready for your next adventure? The Ford Ranger is standing by, so grab your gear and let's go. This adventure-ready truck has an available terrain management system that has 4 selectable drive modes depending on what terrain you're on for optimum performance. Is an SUV more your speed? No problem. Your San Diego County Ford dealers have those too. The 2020 Ford Explorer has been completely redesigned inside and out and has available third-row power-fold seats to easily accommodate more passengers or cargo and available twin-panel moonroof to let the outdoors in. Visit buyfordnow.com to learn more or visit your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
You've heard all about it. You know the anglers catching fish have it, so what's holding you back? It's a fact. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. You can get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com is for everyone, whether you have your own boat, fish on your friend's boat, or a sport boat. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. So bottom line is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, you're probably missing a lot of bites. Membership costs less than $50 of gas, and that's for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, use the special code to save $20 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
For quality, the Islander out of Fisherman's Landing is a favorite among anglers. But Islander Charter is much more than great fishing. They also do incredible Guadalupe white shark diving trips, as well as a schedule of kayak mothership trips. Check out Islander-Charters.com. The Islander is San Diego's leader when it comes to 1 1/2 to 5 day fishing. Experience the Islander difference. Visit Islander-Charters.com for all the details.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, man. What a great day having the guru himself inside the studio, buddy.
Fish are biting, and we have Captain Mark Wisch in here. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Pete.
Great
Ricky.
to have you. Welcome back, Rick.
Yeah.
How was Palmas de Cortez?
It was so good, man. It was just awesome. We hit it just right. The weather was fantastic. It was a great, great trip. Very good biting fish. Those guys are doing such a nice job at Van Wormer Resorts. It was great. We had a really, really fun trip.
Yeah, and they keep the place in beautiful shape. Everything's just like we remember it, right?
It is, and it's just, you forget how easy East Cape is. I mean, the flights are fast and inexpensive. We had just no issue with COVID stuff. So many people are concerned about traveling in the East Cape with it. I mean, I can assure you from having just done it, there's just nothing. You fly Valaris, there is no COVID test. You fly Alaska, which a bunch of the guests and friends did. Van Wormer Resorts had a person at the hotel providing the test for everybody.
Oh, really? Okay.
No issues for anyone, inexpensive. The hotel at Palms was so nice, just so perfect, easy, comfortable. Food was great. It was just awesome. It really was a great trip and a great wedding for Neil and Lainey, and it was fun to celebrate with them and go do some fishing, and we just had a great time.
Congratulations, Neil.
Yeah, it was really
cool.
Good going, buddy.
You think it's going to impact his fishing?
I mean, how can it not? But with that guy, he's going to get plenty. A reduced amount for Neil.
You mean he's not going to fish every day?
Yeah, a reduced amount for Neil is still 3 times what all of us get to experience.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be just fine.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be catching fish. And Mark, it's so great to have you. It's been a while. And
it's been a while.
It's your first time in the world headquarters.
It is. It's my first time actually in San Diego in quite some time with everything going on last year. And then, I just haven't been fishing long range the way that I used to. And private boat stuff, I just haven't been down there. We've been, some in Mission Bay, but man, I haven't been down here for a long time. I miss this place.
Good to have you
This
back,
is
buddy.
nice. I walk alongside the building and say hi to my buddy Jamie on Seasons. They were just leaving for a trip and looking out at all the sport boats that are here, although most of them are gone. It just feels so good in San Diego.
Right?
I love San Diego.
It's a fishing world headquarters right here, right?
It is indeed. In your little office, I mean, we got a few little memories about fishing stuff in here for
you
sure.
Bet. Yeah. No question about that. So here's the age-old question. What's been going on at Pacific Edge?
Well, a lot. With this COVID thing last year, I mean, we were affected, and, fortunately, we got through it maybe a little better than most. We're, very busy with the stuff that we do, and because we were an essential business, we were able to stay pretty much open. And, in the bait tank part of our business, we kind of have 2 businesses there, the tackle store and the bait tank thing. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculously beyond belief busy. It's just, we are so fortunate. And we've been busy. And, this year with the fishing, it looked like it was going to get started good. It did get started pretty good, actually. And then it kind of pooped out here, late March, April. Man, that wind just has been blowing. Cold, water's cold, dirty, off color, rolled over. Every time it starts to straighten out, we got another blast there, although it looks like maybe we're through it now.
Knock on wood somewhere, because we've had a week of good, and then it looks like this week's going to be good, and so let's hope it's the trend, right?
Yeah, and the water's cleaning along the beach. It's actually doing pretty good. There's been 63, 64. And the bass are starting to bite, and some other interesting things happen, which I'll mention when I get to the fish report there at the top of the hour. And, a little bit more squids showing up, and, hopefully things get rolling. But without a doubt, of all the years that I can look back on in April at Catalina, this has been the worst that I have ever seen. It's just been tough.
Really?
It's been really,
You've seen
really,
a lot of Aprils.
We have, and I love that month. We're usually
normally it's Seabass City, right?
Yeah, and they're usually scattered around. Everybody thinks about sea bass on the back, but I have a couple little spots here and there on the front side. I think you and I went in there one time many years ago and had some fun.
Yeah.
Although that one's gone. That little beach, that little tiny cove where we went in there and hooked those big ones, there was some major rainstorms in 95, and when I started heading out, when the weather cleared, it was a crystal clear day, and I was going to Catalina, and I can see this big scar on the island right directly over my bow, and I'm just thinking, boy, that looks weird. And as I got closer, and it was still directly over my bow, I was like, oh, no. Well, there was a giant landslide that came down after, a bunch of really heavy El Nino-style rains, and a whole hunk of the hill came straight down and filled up that little cove where I just clobbered those sea bass for years, unbeknownst to anybody. Yeah, and it's just...
And ever since then, it's never been the
gone.
same.
It's that landslide pushed that beach, the shoreline, out about 50 to 75 feet.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's because there's a nice little cove with a big old rock sitting there and a little reef going out to some kelp, and it was just like the perfect little setup, and nobody ever fished there, and for the most part. And man, we walloped a sea bass in there so many times, and then I haven't caught one there since.
No longer, yeah.
Yeah, so things change.
What do you think is going to happen this year? It's April. I mean, there's not a ton of squid over there right now, right?
There's not right now, but there's some new bait that showed up West Cove there.
Okay.
And I haven't had a chance to hear exactly how much is there, but I know there's been some good scores, for the sports fleet. And that's a traditional spot for the squid to be at this time of year, and it's certainly extremely traditional in terms of guys catching sea bass all up through that stretch there, and yellows both. So it's in a good spot, and it's certainly a good time, and we'll see if somebody can capitalize on it. I know there's some of my friends are over there now checking, and we'll see what develops. But just see, a lot of times we're over there poking around in the winter. You get some fish here and you get a little dab there, and but we mark good schools. They might not be biting, but they're around, and there's just been nothing around. So that can change. As I was over there, I did a charter. This was quite a number of years ago, and I had a guy. He didn't care about what size of anything we caught. He was trying to get to 1,000 species. And he wanted to catch fish of whatever kind. He didn't care. And he wanted a sea bass. And he didn't care if it was 6 inches or 60 pounds. He just wanted a white sea bass. And we couldn't find a damn thing. Nothing. And then I heard that afternoon from one of the planes for the commercial fleet that was seeing some schools of bait between Catalina and Clemente, and they were seeing schools of sea bass. Huh. And the next day, limits.
Really?
No they kidding. Just swam in.
They do that, huh?
They do that, yeah.
Where do they go?
Well, I hope the guys, the peer guys studying those sea bass give us some of those answers. I think there's a big offshore component to that fish in the wintertime.
Interesting.
And I think wherever the squid's hanging out, when it's not along the islands, is where a lot of that sea bass is, wherever that is.
It's just swimming in the middle of the ocean somewhere.
I think.
Wow.
Because a lot of times they're just not around.
Yeah.
They're just not there, period. And they're mostly good-sized fish, and they got a great big air bladder, so there's no mistaking them.
They mark well.
They mark well, and there's no mistaking them. So we know when they're around, and there just hasn't been much around.
Yeah.
And hopefully it changes.
Yeah.
It's depressing, man. There's a whole lot of guys that are really jonesing for their sea bass, man.
Yeah.
It's a whole big
It's the time of the year, this spring, and it should be going on. So we'll just, of course, like you say, it could change today. It could change tomorrow.
It could. It certainly could. And it seems like that water's trying to warm up. Some of the guys at Clemente, I think, got a little bit of 60, 61. It's been cold over there.
Chilly.
They, around the back there, it's... for a long time, it was 55, 56, and rolled over and cold.
When you're talking about
ugly.
Trying to warm up to 60, we're talking about some chilly water.
Yeah.
And it's almost May. I mean, the last few years, it's been, 64, 65.
Yeah, and that 60 seems to be, I remember Lasley told me, like 60 is like the magic number, right?
It's one of the magic numbers, absolutely. It's just, that's that, when that water gets up to that range, and then the sun is higher and the days are longer. That's just like ringing the dinner bell for those fish, for everything.
What about yellow over there?
Very little.
Yeah,
just.
There was some earlier because there was a lot of squid around, and then that squid kind of disappeared, and then so the yellow, right?
Yeah. So
where does that go? Where does that yellow
deep.
go? Goes deep.
I don't think it goes away. I think it just goes deep.
Yeah,
and or deeper. And, the other thing, too, with the weather being as bad as it was for such a long stretch, we got no coverage.
Right.
It's just like for the bluefin. Guys couldn't get down there and poke around. It's pretty hard rooting around looking for fish when you're rolling your guts out. It's blowing 20 knots. I mean, not so fun.
Yeah.
So,
oh boy, did they get him this past week though?
Yeah, they did.
The switch turned on.
Well,
and it was like, I live above the landing, and it's like a parade of boats last night. It's starting at 6:00. You could just see all the overnight day and a half boats leaving.
We all said the same thing at the shop. Like it happened this week. I mean, it just did. There's been boats that have been going, and there's been a couple of hits, and we talked about the couple of big hits last weekend on the show. But then this week, all of a sudden, everyone got them.
Yeah.
And during the week, every day and a half boat that got off the dock had limits or near limits, and then they all went again, and they all had limits again, and then all of a sudden, instead of there being 2 boats that were making it out, there were 4, and then all of a sudden those guys all had limits, and then everybody was able to get multiple boats out, and they all caught them really good again, and it just happened. And yesterday in the shop, you could just feel the electric feeling of the season happening, and guys coming in and buying flat falls and getting leaders, and just you can feel it when it's happening. And the switch, you nailed it, Pete. It happened this week, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, it's I am a strong believer, and I know a lot of people don't buy into it. I totally get that, and they're entitled. But I'm a strong believer in, the fish relating somewhat to the phases of the moon. And when you look at like that weird tide thing we had last weekend, which was basically non-existent, and now we're past the quarter moon, getting toward the full, almost always, if there's fish around and there's guys that whether lets you fish for them or if there's people just fishing for them, you see that upswing. They just bite.
Yeah.
They just bite.
On that full moon.
Coming up to the full or up to the dark. Either one.
Uh-huh.
Either one.
And is it tidal? Is it current? What is it?
Well, it's those, but I think it's more. I think, when you read the old Sooner theory stuff, it's all based on, and again, this is theory, guys,
right,
and some of you are going to buy this, and some of you not, and I get that. That's fine.
Because the fish are going to bite when they want to bite, but
they bite better at certain times than they do other times.
No question.
No question. And you can see it. And so when you read the old Sooner theory books, it's based on the relations of the sun and the moon and the earth and electromagnetic waves. And that's what they believe. And I'm not totally sure that it's always that, but I really don't care because when it happens is somewhat predictable. Mm-hmm. It really is. And I've got, on those little black tide logs, I've got 25 years or 20 years of records as to when fish bite and when they don't. And there's a strong correlation.
That's not to say that you don't catch them in other times, and you don't have slow times during that. But over 25 years, you put all the pluses and minuses together. There's a lot more pluses when you're coming up to a new, and up to a full.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you something interesting that not too many people know, and I've pretty much forgotten about it. But when I was a kid, 16, still in high school, my dad was a self-taught computer guy. He got in with computers in the 40s when they were as big as this building. And so when I was going to high school, he was running a very large computer installation at a very large company. And I took all of the records from the Balboa Angling Club of marlin that were caught. And we used to have really good marlin fishing here, and everybody pretty much killed them and weighed them in. So we had records of whether it was bait or jig, what was the location, what was the time of day, and, the weight of the fish and the tackle and this and that. Well, so I, because I'm just queer for details sometimes. So I took 3 years of records of 400 or 500 marlin each year and plotted down the time of day, tide, moon phase, and gave all the raw data to my dad, who wrote a program and stuck it into his computer and printed out these massive stack. Printer paper used to be joined together.
Yeah, sure.
And they were like this thick. But the interesting part, long story short, of all of this, there was about a 70% correlation to when marlin are caught to the major solunar periods. A very
70%.
Yeah, 70 or 75. Yeah, it was noticeable. And I had biologists from Fish and Game look at this, and they were all gung ho. And I don't even have a copy.
What about the slack tide? Did you relate that?
I'm so glad. Yeah, totally was on my mind. Yeah, how many of those bites were on the tide?
I found that there was more relation to moon overhead or moon underneath than the actual slack tide.
Explain that. Moon overhead versus underneath.
Well, as the moon goes around the Earth,
right.
It's just like the sun. except we see the sun pretty much every day, and the moon is a little harder to see depending on the moon phase. But, it goes around almost on the same schedule as the sun. It's like 23 hours or so. So you got, at some point in time, you got moon overhead.
Straight overhead. Or basically.
There's 3 cycles. There's 17 cycles, but 3 that we watch. So the moon goes up and down just like the sun does. Summertime it's more overhead. Winter it's like low. Moon does the same thing. But when it's at the highest point of its
cycle
transit that particular day, that's going to be moon overhead. And the opposite is, as it's on the other side of the Earth, is moon underneath. And these things have been plotted for 100 years. The guys that figured out lunar periods, they've known this for a long time. Well, there's a very high correlation to when fish bite, all things being equal, to moon overhead or moon underneath.
Interesting.
And that's what
Not so much the slack tide.
It's that period is like right after slack tide.
Okay.
So people, I think, tend to make that connection, even though I get the slack tide thing, but I just can't see offshore how slack tide affects the fish, where the moon and the electromagnetic thing, if that's what the theory is going to.
Yeah.
But irrespective of any of that, I've charted it, and it works.
Yeah.
And, all things being equal, you can catch fish anytime. But if I had to pick, I'm going to take that upswing to the dark of the moon and time. Like if you're over at Catawina and you, for whatever reason, want to go from the east end up to the west end, do you want to go during moon overhead? Absolutely not. You want to be fishing. That's when you want to be fishing someplace. You want to be where you're going then and save your wandering around for those lesser productive times.
Gotcha.
And it's just one of them things that works.
Yeah. So what about, so you said going into the full, going into the dark. What about on the full or on the dark? Is that when it starts to go down, or what's your theory on that?
Those periods can all be good fishing, and we've all seen that.
And after the moon.
And after the moon, depending on how funky conditions get after the moon, it tends to be less. And it's just, it's not a hard and fast rule that's always going to be good on any one day. You guys know that for sure.
Yeah.
It's just, these are the things that just slightly will tilt the odds in your favor, and all things being equal. So if I was planning a trip, 6 months ago, and looking at that tide scenario that we had last weekend where it was virtually non-existent, I would just avoid that.
Right.
We had a caller call in a couple weeks ago that was asking about, what's the magic water temperature where everything starts to bite, or when everything bites? And,
let me know. I want to know.
But your description is so right that there is no thing, there is no black or white thing where when this one thing happens, it's wide open for everybody, and it's all about putting little pieces of condition together. And you might have the best moon overhead lunar time to be fishing, but if it's 55 degrees and there's no current and there's no bait
and blowing 30 knots,
you're not going to catch anything.
Exactly.
And consequently, you could have the lesser ideal moon time, but great current and great food and great water temperature and great water color, and you can knock them dead too.
You got it.
But if you can if you can just have every one of those positive condition things in your back pocket and start to put them all together, that's how you start to be successful more often than being less successful.
Right.
There's a synopsis
there
right there. He just said it all.
Yeah, for sure. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for you today.
Man,
a lot to talk about.
If that few minutes wasn't a little preview of why it's so great having Mark in here, I don't know what is. We're going to have a great show for you today. And if you want to join us, man, we would love to hear from you. Give us a call at Let's Talk Hookup this morning at 213-432-1090. Again, 213-432-1090 is the number to reach us. Or shoot us a text. We've had that great text the show option. Lots of good information bits coming out of those great texts. That's only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app. Just download the Let's Talk Hookup app wherever you get your apps, whether it be the iTunes, or the Apple Store, or the Google Play Store. Search for Let's Talk Hookup, get that app, and fire a text off to Captain Mark Wisch. And not only are we talking great fishing information today and the best bait tanks on the water, we are also giving away such a killer prize at the end of the show today. One lucky caller is going to win a brand new pair of Maui Jim sunglasses. And this is a very special one. We've got to do this 1 or 2 times before, but you're going to get a gift card that's good for absolutely any pair of Maui Jims, including being able to customize your glasses with that My Maui feature. So if you want a different color lens, a different frame, if you want to add one of those great Maui Jim readers, you can build a perfect pair of non-prescription Maui Jims with this card. Any frame, any color, any style. Such a cool prize. Again, if you want to get through, talk to Mark, have a shot at winning those Maui Jims, or participate and have some fun with us. 213-432-1090. When we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. Lots of great info coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Mightier 1090 and the Let's Talk Hookup app.
Dana Landing in Mission Bay is truly the one-stop shop for a great day on the water. Come see our expert fishing staff for just about anything you need for a great day of on-the-water fun. Looking for a fishing charter? Dana Landing has you covered with the Blackjack, perfect for up to 4 anglers, or the Impulse with up to 6. Dana Landing has a huge selection with everything you need to catch small bay bass or giant tuna. We will be sure to set you up with the right gear. We even offer reel repair and Mexican and California fishing licenses. Don't forget the amazing deli at Dana Landing with all the food, ice, and beverages you need to complete your day. Need freshwater tackle? Head to East County Bait and Tackle with all the finest rods and reels, the hottest freshwater lures, and live bait. ECBT has an amazing staff who love to share their passion for fishing. East County Bait and Tackle is located at the end of the 67 freeway on Main Street in Lakeside, and Dana Landing is next to the Dana Launch Ramp on San Diego's Mission Bay. Check out danalanding.com for more details.
Hey anglers, AFCO Pro Captain Ben Florentino of Coastal Charters here. As a full-time guide, I'm on the water all year long. It's my livelihood. Having the right clothing is of the utmost importance to staying warm, dry, cool, and comfortable to endure whatever the Pacific wants to throw at me. Thankfully, I'm equipped with AFCO clothing to keep me dialed season after season. Do yourself a favor and check out AFCO's award-winning gear at a dealer near you, or learn more at AFCO.com.
Hi, this is Scott Sherman for Snap Insurance. I'm back from City Hall and ready to help you with all your insurance needs. I can provide you with the best in boat insurance at the lowest rates. But there's more to a policy than just a low rate. I know the coverage you need and will make sure your boat and property are covered right. Work with us to wrap your home, auto, and boat policy to save even more money. We can also help you with your commercial or business insurance. Call me, Scott Sherman, at Snap Insurance, 619-908-3100 or snapins.com.
It's time for the Power Pro 30-second seminar. I like catching big fish, and I like smaller reels, too. How do I make sure that I have the capacity to land the big one? I fill my reels with Power Pro Max Quattro. It's 25% thinner than standard Power Pro, so you get more line on that small reel. Power Pro has a complete series of highly effective lines, including the brand new Power Pro Depth Hunter Offshore, with different colors every 100 feet. Perfect for flatfall fishing. Want to learn more? Check PowerPro.com. Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time already this morning. Phones are getting packed. No surprise with Captain Mark Wisch in here. It's always a very busy morning. But again, if you want to get your shot, give us a call at 213-432-1090 and fire us off on those Let's Talk Hookup apps.
Yeah. Hey, Mike Lum, that amazing guy himself, has putting together, of course, the Rollo rod deal, and I have the announcement for the winner today. The winner of today's custom rod is Joseph Evania, ticket number 115.
Ooh, right on,
so
Joe.
Congratulations. You get the pick of what's left there.
That's great.
Which there's some beautiful rods. And then also wants me to remind you that the giant Captain Rollo's used tackle sale will be May 22nd at Seaforth Landing. It's this year. It's at Seaforth. Last year was Dana, but it's going to be the tackle sale is going to be the captain's reception is going to be at Dana Landing. Right. The used tackle sale on May 22nd is going to be at Seaforth, right there at Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay. Tons of great deals. They're still gathering donated tackle. Fisherman's Landing and Dana Landing are the drop-off points, or just contact Tim at rollokids.org to donate if you want to donate some rods there. So thanks to Mike for all he does, and get ready for that organization's great use, because I had some super deals. I know I donated probably 25 rods this year. So.
I know. The boys in the tackle store all said, you should have seen the gear that Pete dropped off for the donation thing, man. I wish you would have told me. I would have taken that. I get to talk about it a lot because we are one of the donation locations, and it blows me away the generosity that some people have, and all that's going to equate to is a killer deal for you.
Oh, yeah.
There is so much good tackle that gets dropped off for that sale. It's going to be awesome. I mean, we're talking Trinidads and CalStar rods and all kinds of really high-end stuff gets donated every year, and it's a great way to pick up an awesome deal on some tackle.
Yeah, I mean, like, for example, I just had some stuff, we've all been collecting tackle for a very long time, right?
Yeah.
I had some stuff I just wasn't using anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe down the road, I was like, I wish I had that rod. But no, you don't need it. I mean, you can only use so many at one time, right? So I just said, you know what? These are all going to take kids fishing.
Totally, that's awesome.
And that's what a lot of people are doing.
That's it.
And that's what the used tackle sale is all about. So if you have that in your garage, turn it into taking kids fishing and turning kids onto fishing.
And it's so easy to do. You can go to Dana Landing and just drop it off. You can go to Fisherman's Landing and just drop it off. You can contact the boys from Raleigh. There's nothing to it. I mean, it's a very easy process. And like you said, you're adding garage space and you're sending kids fishing.
Yep.
It's cool.
Yeah, better than sitting in the corner gathering dust, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, the phones are packed. The texts are coming through like mad. They want to talk to Captain Mark Wisch from Pacific Edge.
Yeah, buddy. Let's start it off. Let's talk to our good buddy Don. He's calling in from Woodland Hills this morning. Don, good morning. Thanks for getting us started here on the phones.
Hey, happy Saturday, guys. Thanks for taking my call. So I have a comment and a question for Mark. Mark, first of all, leading off with that information about the moon above and the moon below, I remembered that from one of your seminars, and I also remembered you talking about keeping a tide log. And I don't know, it's probably been 10 years now, but ever since then I've kept the tide log, and it's really, really fun to go back and look at all the trips I've taken and all the people I've met and the names I've put down. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that hint.
Yeah, those little tide logs are great for that. Just
they still printing those?
Oh, absolutely. We sell the heck out of them. Yeah.
So, over the years, I've heard you talk fondly about Santa Barbara Island. What is it about Santa Barbara Island that makes it so special for you?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I do like it. It's a very small island, and it's very conditions sensitive. So it's not like when conditions are at the west end, you can run down to the east end of Catalina and you're 20 miles away. It's not like that. You're a mile from one side to the other. So you go up there sometimes and conditions are less than stellar. I mean, you're just out of luck. But when conditions are good and there's some fish around, which has not been too much the case this year, although some, it's just a cool little island because there's not a lot of pressure, so you kind of get where you want to most of the time, not always. And it holds a high percentage of big fish. We catch, in terms of, hours fishing, we catch a high percentage of bigger fish up there.
Okay.
And it's just, it's a neat little spot. And, we're mostly fishing out of Long Beach and Huntington Harbor, so it's a downhill run in the afternoon when the wind's blowing, too, so that makes it nice. But yeah, it's a neat island. It's slow getting started. It's very small. Yeah, like a mile
Now, when
around.
they took the MPAs, did they take away some prime spots?
Oh, they did an absolutely stellar job
of taking
of ruining some of. I mean, they just almost did it as good as they could do it. Yeah, they took
like they did at Catalina.
Oh yeah, they got plenty of Catalina too. But thank God it's a bigger island, so we still got some. But yeah, they took that whole southeast quadrant of the island, not just a little slice. I mean, they took the whole southeast corner of the island. And
it's not that big.
No, it's not. And they took the that South Kelp Ridge out of there, and which was just traumatizing to lose that, and some other spots and a little bit of that deeper rockfish stuff. I mean, yeah, they did a hell of a good job with that one. But there's enough left, and there's been some big yellows there. It's been kept pretty quiet, but that yellow I don't really think leaves there. I think it's there all the time. Mm-hmm. And you go up there and brave the conditions. There was a little bit of squid there for a while. There might still be, although it's being looked at today, I know. So we'll probably find out. But yeah, there's been some yellow. I've not heard about much sea bass up there, and that's another reason I like it. And don't tell anybody, but a lot of times that sea bass is in there thick.
Yeah,
and some big ones. I've caught my personal best came from Santa Barbara Island.
Really? How big is that?
Well, that one that I know of for sure was 55.
Nice.
And And then fishing with Jamie here on some of those checkpoint bites that we had a few years back. I mean, we had a middle of the night bite that was just beyond the beyond, and we already have limits on the deck when they started biting, and then the big one showed up. And Jamie probably doesn't even know. Hopefully he's not listening, but I let one go for him alongside the boat. It had to be 65 or 70.
Oh,
it was giant. And we both had fish like that. So I probably caught some bigger, but the one I know for sure is only 55.
Only 55. That's a pretty good one. Hey, Don, thanks a lot for getting us started. Thanks a lot for the call.
Hey, with that, we're going to find out what's going on in the Baja because we got the Cast Man standing by. Today, that catch report sponsored by Gamakatsu Nautilus Circle Hooks. They are the top choice for fishing tuna. From that Gamakatsu Nautilus Light, the regular Nautilus, and that new Nautilus HD. Having the ability to choose the right size circle hook is critical. And with Gamakatsu Nautilus, you've got that choice, and you'll have the confidence that you have the finest hooks that are ever made. Stock up on Gamakatsu Nautilus hooks at selected tackle shops, and let's talk to the Cast Man, Richard Castaneda from Cast Tours. Buenos dias, Cast Man.
Hey, Ricky. Good morning.
Cast Man.
Anyway, hey, man, we're got a week away from our Laredo trip.
Yes, we are. Very exciting.
I'm excited, Pete. Got some really good fish reports coming out of there. There's a lot of fish, and they're starting to bite. Mike Chavera, a good buddy, just got back from there this week, and also Danny, our charter master down there, says, yeah, the fish. There's a lot of fish. They're getting ready to really break loose, but they did get some good quality fish this week, up to 40 pounds, and Mike was saying that the fish are feeding on some small sardines, so probably recommend we bring down some of the smaller cold snipers, maybe a couple of the 100-gram ones, and then I think the next one's the 80. But probably the blue and chrome would be good. Kind of match the hatch, as they say. But there's something's going to happen, and I think we're going to be in the thick of it. So, Pete, I hope you're ready.
Oh, we're ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah.
There's no question. Yeah.
All right. Well, I just want to make sure. It didn't sound like you're ready, but you better be ready.
Oh, yeah, we're ready. Yeah. No, in fact,
anyway,
Steve Pazel and I are going to win the tournament.
Oh, nice. I like it.
Yeah. He was asking. He's like, "Are you eligible to win the tournament?" Because I've got all the secret weapons. It's like, okay. We're going to win, Cass.
I don't even care about you guys winning the tournament. I just want you to go to Taco El Rey. That's like my favorite.
Oh, that place is awesome.
My favorite taco shop in all of Mexico is in Laredo.
Yeah.
Like that's the one.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great trip, Cass. You guys are going to have a blast.
Yeah, you're right. And like I said, in the fishing, from Laredo all the way down to San Jose del Cabo, there the yellowtail are going off. There's a lot of yellowtail in the area. Of course, this time of year too, a lot of cabrilla and red snapper. Our good friend Baja Bob Lewis there at La Playita reported this week that the tuna have once again showed up at the Iman Bank in that area, and it looks like they're starting to get some 20, 40-pound fish up there. And, of course, like I say, they're getting their share of yellowtail there, and, of course, Sierras all along that coast. This is about the last month for Sierra mackerel, and then you'll see, the Dorados just start moving in here next month. And it'll be good. He said a lot of people in town. The restaurants are full, traffic, a lot of people going into the Southern Baja, finally starting to travel and have a good time fishing. So anyway, Pete, one more report before we head down, and I'm looking forward to it. And should be a hoot. We got a good group. We got 44 people on the trip, 22 Pongas in the tournament, so it should be
awesome.
A really, really fun time.
Yeah, and the Baja California government is providing hats and a nice party for us at El Zalote?
Zapalote
Brewery. Yeah, so on Monday night they're throwing a little party for us.
That's awesome
to welcome us. So that's going to be fun.
By the way, Zapalote means buzzard.
Buzzard, okay, all right, very good. That's going to be fun.
Anyway,
well, if somebody wants to come down and see you, how do we do that, Cass?
Oh, yeah, give us a call at Cast Tours, 800-593-6510, or on the web at casttours.com, and I'll talk to you boys next Saturday.
Thanks, Cass, man. Appreciate that very much. All right, let's jump right back into them. Phones are packed up solid. We're going to talk to Austin. He's calling us from out Las Vegas this morning. What's up, Austin? Welcome to the show.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Doing great.
So I got a comment and then a question. Captain Wisch, looking forward to reading all your books. I just ordered them earlier this week. I was wondering, with your theory on the moon phases and everything like that, am I going to find that in any of your books? And then my second question is awesome. And then my second question is, do you have any
both of those
pink
books?
fluoro?
What was the second question?
Great. I look forward to it. Sorry about that, guys. Do you have any experience with pink fluorocarbon? Got a trip coming up, and I'm just kind of curious. Do you have any experience and what your thoughts are on it?
Well, the pink thing got started, as best I know, with the old albacore guys fishing albacore. They loved that pink color offshore for albacore. I don't know exactly why, but it's extremely popular. And I imagine it goes to the fact that, the reds and pinks are the first color from the spectrum to be lost when you start getting below the surface of the water. It's the first color that disappears. So maybe that's where it came from originally. We used to use that pink Andy a lot fishing sea bass up in shallow, dirty water because it just seemed like it kind of matched the color of the water that we're fishing in a little bit, and definitely worked for that. The guys with the pink fluoro right now, we sell quite a bit of that stuff for the same reason. A lot of guys just feel that color helps disappear a little more quickly. So yeah, there's a bunch of hardcore believers in pink line, especially for fishing that thing that, what do they call them, Ricky? Albacore?
Yeah, the A word.
Yeah, they're coming back. They're coming. This is going to be the year.
The other thing that always cracks me up about pink is some of our most high-dollar, highly skilled, unlimited budget marlin tournament professionals. I mean, the best of the best. Such a high percentage of those guys all use pink fluorocarbon for their marlin fishing. I mean, the people who have
their marlin bait casters,
who have unlimited skill and the cost means no factor, wouldn't mean a thing. They have every option there. So many of those guys all use pink fluoro for that striped marlin fishing. And I mean, these guys, they're the best of them, the Lasleys and the Grosbecks and the people who, they're at any resource at their disposal, and they're all buying that.
I personally am a believer. I've seen times, even I was on a long trip once on the Royal Star, where I've told the story. Yeah. Mike Hine, of all people, was just getting them, and everybody else was kind of watching. And I was like, "What the heck are you doing?" Pink fluorocarbon. I switched to pink fluorocarbon. I started getting it.
So there you go.
Here's my thing. I don't like it. I like clear. I'm a clear fluorocarbon guy. That's what I fish with. But because of you particularly and other people that have told that story, I don't ever go on a trip without like a spool of 40. You know what I mean? Like I have one in the bag just to be on the safe side. Like I use clear. I like clear fluoro. That's what I fish with. But I don't ever not have a spool or two of that around.
Just
like
in case.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be that guy.
You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Totally.
And then as far as the books go, you can still get the books.
Oh, we sell the heck out of them.
Yeah. I mean, they're Bibles. I mean, like in the gray, I keep that book on my boat, and when we go to Catalina, I'm in that book like constantly. It's got everything in there. And then the book you brought today, Lessons from a Lifetime on the Water, it's such a great book.
It's a little different than the other ones, but I'm gonna read just a little section of that here in a little bit for a special reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would study that moon tide stuff, and there's some stuff in there if you're going to fish sea bass in Catalina. There's some stuff that I put it in there. Very few people pick up on it. It's another little theory about something that really matters. So it's all there for you.
All right.
Yeah, we didn't hold back.
That's awesome.
Thanks for calling Las Vegas.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We got more of your phone calls. We got catch reports, all kinds of great info coming up. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California sport fishing voice on the mightier 1090.
Your vacation bucket list can't be completed without visiting the Katmai Lodge, Alaska this summer. A world-class wilderness fishing paradise on the banks of the famed Alagnak River. Get in the action, fishing for all 5 species of Pacific salmon, king, sockeye, chum, coho, plus trophy-sized rainbow trout, Arctic grayling and Dolly Varden, both in the Alagnak and nearby waters. Katmai Lodge's Coast Guard and CPR certified guides are fly fishing fanatics, and no know how to help you reel them in, ensuring your days are fish-filled while you enjoy freshly prepared snacks and barbecued lunches on the river. Back at the lodge, enjoy fireside appetizers and refreshments each afternoon. Delicious dinner prepared by the lodge's exceptional chef. Take a quick fly-out trip to Brooks Falls in Katmai National Park for world-renowned bear watching. And check out our trout fishing specials at katmai.com. That's KATMAI.com. Katmai.com.
Seakeeper, the leader in marine stabilization, has launched its newest, smallest, and most radically different model, the Seakeeper 1. Now, for the first time, stabilization is available for boats as small as 23 feet. The Seakeeper 1 is designed to eliminate up to 95% of boat roll on vessels 23 to 30 feet. With a fresh new look, the Seakeeper 1 has a compact flush mount installation and runs on 12-volt battery power. Installation is a breeze. It can fit under almost any seat. Now your skiff can enjoy the comfort and enjoyment that only a Seakeeper-equipped boat can provide. Check out the Seakeeper demo boat at upcoming shows and arrange a free test drive. Seakeeper has changed the lives of many Southern California anglers, including Pete Gray, and will allow you to stay on the fishing grounds when others need to head back to port. Visit Seakeeper.com/take-a-ride to arrange a demo. Eliminate up to 95% of boat roll on your trailer boat. Seakeeper. Once you feel it, you'll never boat without it.
Here's the hot tip on the best fishing LA has to offer. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. They are home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnight on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and three-quarter-day trips on the Sea Angler. For your own private charter, we have the Outrider and Trueline available. There's always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or on the web at 22ndstreet.com. Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find a location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. We're having a great time here this morning talking fishing, and so much killer info happening today, Pete. This is great.
And a couple lines open, believe it or not. You want to talk to Captain Mark Wisch, 213-432-1090, open right now. Andrew's standing by waiting for your phone calls, and you can text the show via the Let's Talk Hookup app, too, and you have some good texts.
Oh, yeah, there's so many good texts that have already come through. This one, hey, it says, Mark Wisch is such a great asset to the show. He's my favorite report every week.
Yeah.
I've got a question. Are there classes anywhere to learn how to better read one's chart plotter, fish finder, GPS? That's from Mark in Escondido.
Okay, well, yeah, to answer your question, sort of, yes. And I used to do how to read your color sounder seminars in the store. And, you know, after doing them for a number of years there, my good friend Danny Jackson, the world-famous videographer, just sat me down and he said, you know, we need to do a DVD. So we did. And now Chris set it up so that you can buy that on our website and just download it.
Oh, no right kidding. On.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool.
So you can just go to our website, Pacific Edge Tackle, and find that product, how to read your color sounder, and you can just purchase it right there. It's like $20.
It's really good.
And you can do a digital download.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
So
there you
right
go,
at
Mark.
PacificEdgeTackle.com.
Yep.
Yeah. You guys have done such an amazing job with that website. You know, from that type of stuff to the bait tank selection. Like I'm putting a new bait tank on Field Research,
Yep.
and you said, well, go to the website and look at this tank, and it's all spelled out right there, no matter what your boat is.
Yeah, we put a lot of work into this one. You know, the last one crashed a few years back, so we. Well, not me so much, but Chris did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm not savvy with that stuff. She's really good.
Chris,
and,
of course, is your wife.
Yeah,
Those that don't know.
The brain's the operation for sure.
Exactly.
And but she's done a fantastic job putting all that together.
Yeah,
and we
it's
just
fantastic.
keep adding pictures and more text, and you know, she forced me to sit down and write some stuff about, the bait tank installation part of it for our customers that are out of the area that, they can't stop by. So we've been putting more of that up on there. And, we're trying to make it a worthy resource.
So if you want to buy that, how to read your color sounder, you can just go on PacificEdgeTackle.com and buy it download it right there. That sounds great. I might have to do that.
Yeah, right.
For sure. Thanks a lot for the call this morning. Another comment about bait tanks. Mark, just wanted to thank you for a wonderful custom installed bait system on my ProLine. Performed flawlessly for 7 wonderful years and caught many fish. And that's Grant in San Carlos said that. And that's,
we like that.
That's kind of
awesome.
You've done how many hundreds of bait tanks for people?
More than a few.
Yeah.
More than a few.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is, my business many years ago was outfitting big boats, with all the electronics and water makers and generators and bait tanks and anchor winches and all that stuff. So I've got a really strong background in how to do stuff on boats, although I don't do any of that anymore. And I don't do any bait tank installations personally anymore, thank God.
Yes.
But I've got, a really strong history of how to do this stuff. So I talk to our customers and they say, well, we can't do this, we can't do that. And I go, sure you can. You just got to do it like this.
Yeah.
And so it's very gratifying to be able to help people out, figure out problems that, if you haven't done this stuff, some of them seem insurmountable. And you can usually get around most of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right. Well, hey, let's jump back in the phones.
You got it, buddy. How about this time we talk to Rich? He's calling us from Camarillo this morning. Good morning, Rich. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, everyone. I've got a couple of questions. First question is, do they have a drop-off area in the Ventura for the rods for the Rollo kids? And question for Mark, do they make a tank that's separated so you can have squid on one side and anchovies and sardines on the other side so they don't eat them up?
Well, to answer that part of your question, I'm not sure about the Ventura, but I'm sure one of those guys would, or if you're anywhere near our place in Huntington Beach, that's not a problem. You can drop it off there for sure. And in terms of double tanks, we've been making double tanks for many, many years, all the way from our smallest ones, about 60 gallons, and very popular. And our biggest production one is about 250, and we have several in between there. So if you go to our website, PacificEdgeTackle.com, go to the double tank section, and you'll see a variety of what we do. And I love double tanks. I just had that conversation with a guy who's got a East Coast lobster boat coming here in a couple months, coming from the Netherlands, would you believe? The Netherlands,
wow.
Yeah. And we were having that same conversation about the double tank, so you can keep the anchovies and sardines on one side and squid on the other side.
Wow, those are becoming more popular out here. I've seen more and more of those East Coast style lobster boats and catamarans now, fancy high-end catamarans,
Yeah, this lobster boat that he's got, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and those are heavy duty.
They are indeed.
Yeah, built for some big seas.
Yeah, and it's a high end rig, and he's a very interesting guy, and it's going to be a really fun project. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, hope that helps you out. Thanks a lot for the call.
Speaking of
the Rollo. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. So the best thing to do would be to go to the website, tim@rollokids.org, and just email Tim, because Tim lives up in that area, and I'm sure he can arrange some type of a drop-off for you on your tackle. So tim@rollokids.org. Email Tim, and Tim will work some magic
He's
for you.
He's the man, no doubt.
Yeah.
You were talking about catamarans. I got to see, our good buddy Brandon Hayward was at Palmas with us, and getting to see that big cat that he has, that big Freeman ripping around in the Sea of Cortez. Dude, that thing is a game changer.
Well,
boy.
So he's bringing that here and going to run trips out offshore on that, right? From Fisherman's Landing.
Yeah, it will live right here all summer long doing bluefin fishing, and it's basically
it's like a 60-mile-an-hour boat.
It is so ridiculous. We had they were at Palmas, for the weekend. Good buddies with Neil, also part of the wedding thing, and when you see that boat just leaving Palmas, and then you like put your margarita down and they're turning the corner of La Ribera. You know what I mean? Like, that boat was so fast and big and stable and just Man, it was really, really cool. Dude.
Really
yeah,
nice.
I think the idea is to basically fish a day-and-a-half style trip, that kind of time on the water, but when you don't have the time to be gone, you can get on that boat in the morning and you can come home that same evening, but you're traveling to the island in an hour or less than an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that.
That's just hard to believe.
And those Freemans are amazing.
Yeah, it was so,
can't wait to go fishing with them.
so cool, dude.
He's probably booking trips right now.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. I'm sure the schedule is up and available, and but it's going to be a lot of open party. I think it's a lot. I mean, obviously you can charter the boat too, but I think a lot of their idea was to do an open party. It's basically a day-and-a-half trip that's put into the time frame of somebody that doesn't have the time to be gone for 2 days. You can get that same grade of fishing on that style of boat with Brandon or his crew driving. That is going to be a big deal. It's going to be a game changer.
It's going to be popular.
Yeah, no doubt.
Not going to be cheap, but it's going to be popular.
Yeah, yep. You got it, man. No doubt.
For sure. Hey, thanks for the call this morning.
All right. Hey, let's jump back into them. This time we're going to talk to John. John's calling us from Huntington Beach. Hey, John. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. Awesome show as always, and really appreciate Mark's insights and knowledge. My question is for Mark, if you were to pick a trailer boat and fish off of the coast, off of Catalina, off of San Clemente, what kind, you've seen all kinds of trailer boats with your years of experience. Which boat brand, what size, what, beam, do you have a particular one that's your favorite?
Oh boy!
Yeah, boy, there's a loaded question for you.
That's a tough one. I have that conversation in the store often, and I usually throw it back on the guy or gal and say, well, the first thing you need to do is figure out what you want to do with this boat. I mean, you want to be a hardcore fisherman? Do you got some family considerations? Are you just going to go for the day? You want to be able to overnight? Do you want to have range? Do you want to have speed? There's
so many factors.
Many factors into that. But if it were me, I would fall back on two of my favorite boats, trailer boats. One was a 25 Parker that I had some years back that my partner and I did a tremendous amount of work to. And we made that boat. We increased the capabilities of that boat so much over the stock boats because of how we like to fish. We like to do overnight trips and sometimes 2-day trips. And, we wanted to have the stuff in the boat to be able to, do that comfortably. And that was a fantastic boat. And the other one was a 26 Blackman that I had, some years back.
That boat too, yeah.
And single diesel and not
super efficient.
Yeah, a range. See, that's the thing that a lot of guys don't figure out is, how much fuel capacity and what do you do in terms of miles per gallon? Does it let you go where you want to go? And I talked to a customer here, 3-4 months ago, who was buying something from the East Coast, and he's talking about how he wants to do 2-3 day bluefin trips and hang out at Clemente. And it was an outboard boat with 90 gallons. Mm-hmm. And I just
not going to work.
I didn't want to say it, but it's like, dude, what are you thinking? You're going to be able to barely get to Clemente and back, much less hang out for 2 or 3 days. So those are all the factors that go into it. But I mean, if I were going to get another boat here right away, I would probably opt for a 25 Parker, just because you've got a comfortable hull and enough speed and enough fuel for enough range, and with the background I have and some of my friends have, we can civilize the interior a little more. And I'd probably do it like that.
Help them design it and stuff like that. Yeah. And go see Kevin Kelly at West Coast Marine.
Absolutely.
Kevin's the best.
No doubt.
I mean, he'll dial you up, whether it's a new or used one. He'll set you up right.
And that's the beauty of working with those guys. Is just like Mark. They've been through bare bones boats, and they've been through mega upgrades of boats, and he can assist you if that is what you want. want on the right tanks and the right towers and the right inside, and we're going to change
the right
this
engines.
door. Sure.
Well,
totally.
Here's the other thing, too. When you had your boat, these weren't available. The 300 Yamaha or the Twin 200. The Twin, that's an incredible package. The Twin 200 inline 4, that's a package. For sure.
A lot of guys say, well, I don't want twins. You got twice as much this and that. And I say, well, you ever had an engine die on you in the middle of the night on a rough sea and you're a long way from home? I mean, it's just, my Parker was a pair of 150s, and it was just a nice combination. Yeah, it worked out good. So there's so many options today. I mean, there's so many cool boats. It's just amazing.
And when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including checking in with the Catch Report to find out what's biting out there. You stay tuned. A lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
The ranch is small, it's very personal, very intimate. I don't think there's anywhere else that you could have the old Baja feel and have all the miles of beachfront, the palapa roofs and the stone walls. There's not a room that you don't have some kind of ocean view. You don't give up any amenities at the ranch. It's just very rustic. You know how when you cook outdoors it tastes better? Well, that's Rancho Leonero. It just tastes better. We have paddle boards, we've got kayaks, we've got snorkeling equipment, of course. We've got 12 super pongas. We have dive trips. We've got over 40 kayaks at the hotel. We've got all accurate equipment, very top of the line. And when the fishing's good, we'll freeze your fish, pack it all up, send it home with you. People love it. They'll come back 5-6 times a year. That's the highest accolade we can get. 1-800-646-2252, 646-BAJA. And RanchoLeonero.com. It's unique.
All of us at the American Angler family want to express appreciation to our regular passengers that fish with us year after year, and to the new anglers that came out this last season. We realize how precious your vacation time is, and we are truly grateful that you have chosen to spend this time with us. It's important that your experience is memorable, from the moment you call the office to the time you step off the boat. Hi, I'm Lori. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. Come fishing with the American Angler family and make a memory.
Shimano has done it again. An amazing lever drag 2-speed reel at an affordable price. It's Speedmaster 2, the extremely durable, high-performance Speedmaster 2 with high maximum drag power and a smooth, ultra-wide range of drag adjustability is an absolute fish-fighting machine. Its rigid Hagani body prevents misalignment of moving parts under the heaviest loads. Plus, a spare drag cam is included for optimal use with monofilament lines. The Speedmaster is now available in 4 models, 12, 16, 20, and 25. This is the perfect reel for the angler looking for a powerful, lightweight, smooth casting reel for tuna or other powerful saltwater game fish at a more affordable price. Nothing in its class can match the Shimano Speedmaster 2, built to provide high-end performance and dependability in a compact, lightweight frame. Get the Shimano Speedmaster 2 lever drag reel at your local Shimano dealer. Check Shimano.com for all the details.
One of the dream trips for most anglers is Alaska. There are so many lodges. How do you make a choice? It's easy. Choose the one most Let's Talk Hookup listeners return to time after time. Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. No one does it better than Kingfisher Charters. They offer the best service, the most comfortable accommodations, fantastic food, and the finest charter captains in Sitka. All for the ultimate value. One visit and you will understand why nobody beats Kingfisher Charters. Sitka is famous for some of the best runs of salmon in Alaska. And if giant Alaskan halibut is your target, the expert captains at Kingfisher Charters know the hot spots and can put you on a fish of a lifetime. Plenty of rockfish and huge lingcod are there too. And when it comes to fish processing, the best in Alaska is Kingfisher Charters. It's all included in your package. In fact, everything is included except tips. It is truly amazing how the Kingfisher crew continues the quality of service they deliver year after year. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136, or check kingfishercharters.com.
Your San Diego County Ford dealer knows that vehicles are not one size fits all, and they have a variety to choose from to suit your individual wants and needs. Looking for a truck to handle both work and play? The legendary F-150 has you covered with its military-grade aluminum alloy body and high-strength steel frame and smart technology, like the available Pro Trailer Backup Assist to help you back up your boat with the turn of a dial. Or do you need a vehicle that's ready for your next adventure? The Ford Ranger is standing by, so grab your gear and let's go. This adventure adventure-ready truck has an available terrain management system that has 4 selectable drive modes depending on what terrain you're on for optimum performance. Is an SUV more your speed? No problem. Your San Diego County Ford dealers have those too. The 2020 Ford Explorer has been completely redesigned inside and out and has available third-row power-fold seats to easily accommodate more passengers or cargo and available twin-panel moonroof to let the outdoors in. Visit buyfordnow.com to learn more or visit your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.